Okay, Mana, what's the question?
Maya, yesterday you'd asked us to put a price point in the brochure we were supposed to create. From your suggestion, as we are starting out with this work, how would you think pricing should work from our perspective? Like, what is a good price point to start at?
So first of all, when you start, you can't take any money because you really has nothing to offer, right? So you need to be aware that this, I cannot emphasize it enough. I know little people who can live from this work. It is an add-on to what you do. Or you do that from personal interest, you want to share it. It is not, money can never, ever be the point in this work. However, as soon as you have really something to share, then it is necessary for the other to balance that out and pay a fair, fair amount for your service, right? So this is not a charity work, of course, that you offer for free for the rest of your life, because that's not in the orders of love neither, right? Um, so as soon as you really can give something, and let's put it that way, when you start, you get more than you give, because every time you work with somebody, you get so much out of it. Hmm? And the other
Yes.
one, maybe not as much, maybe a little bit, maybe nothing, maybe not as much. So when this is kind of like a scale, when this is tipping to the other side, right? And the other gets more out of it than you, that is the time when you start um, to ask for money for your sessions. Hmm? And you have to be aware of it. That's your work. You need to be a very conscious and honest with yourself, and just be aware when this is happening, right? And then I have no idea what you can charge in India, Mana, honestly. But it is like it's a consultant fee, like a life coach fee, same
Yeah.
amount. Of course, as a beginner, when you start to charge, you go at the lowest end, right?
Yes.
And then after a few years, you might, increase your price a little bit. But I don't know. What do you charge in
So
India?
it's very competitive to international prices at the level of work that we do. Like counseling and all is also expensive here.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you just do your marketing research, I would suppose, and see where you can, where you find your slot, your space, your place in this market. Um, Uh, and it's also matter, I don't know what kind of currency you choose. Uh, because, for example, Family Constellation Virtual works for several reasons in New Zealand dollars, which used to be 2 years ago quite a good currency, which is not anymore. So all of a sudden, for international clients, this is more affordable than it was used to be. I'm not gonna change that because I have New Zealanders coming too. Um, but it could tip to the other side. This is nothing I can influence. So that's just a bonus for international clients, I would say. If you charge in US dollars or in euros or in another, not in rubies, I don't know how you're gonna do that.
Yeah.
You don't have this problem if you have international clients, but if you do local service, which obviously is the way to go, because everything else you're not learning much
Yeah.
to start with, um, then and you are in your local currency, you don't have this problem anyhow. So you just charge like a beginner's counseling service fee or something like that, I would say.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Maya.
Okay, right. So let's go into today's and last teaching content. Where is it now? Oh, hang on. You don't see anything, don't you? Okay, let's do it again. There we go. Okay, so welcome to Module 5, Part 2, the last part of our teaching content. We are continuing where we left off yesterday, talking about a one-on-one service provided to clients with predominantly the means or methods of family constellation, in the method of Bert Hellinger, and added some let's call it add-ons that works very well with it, and some ideas how you can do your own individual add-on. So what we're looking at today is internal constellation. We have a training session with it, and you will see what I mean with that. We will also talk about floor anchors. We will talk about essential oils briefly. That's not, there's a lot to say about that, but just briefly how I incorporate that in my work. We are looking at breathing exercises, and we are looking at guided meditations. These are all the tools that you have in a one-on-one session, other than working with figurines or other objects, which we did yesterday. So everything else that you can do in a one-on-one situation is what we're covering today, basically. And then we also have, last but not least, some last words about what you could do when you find yourself in trouble in a one-on-one session. And then we have an exercise. We have the exercise, I believe, before or after the break, depends on how far we go. And that would be where we come to that, what we do then. So internal constellation. I just want to let you know that you can do everything you have learned and experienced about and in family constellations. You can use all of this to perform an internal constellation in a one-on-one session. It is not different. There is nothing different. The orders of love, finding what means, acknowledging what is, this is what we do. We are doing nothing else. This is the method of Bert Hellinger, right? That's what we do. So what is then an internal constellation? And the question is, who's facilitating, who's constellating, and who's representing in a one-on-one situation? So first of all, the session, what I call an internal constellation, is always following the same setup you have for a workshop. You have an intro or a setup. Then you have the main session where you work with the tools that you have in a family constellation, and you have a closing to take your client out of the morphogenetic field and integrate the practice. So that's all the same. And we will have an I will demonstrate that, right? Now I want to talk about floor anchors briefly, because this is a very you're also connecting with the morphogenetic field, but not with the family system so much, but just with the morphic field of your client and their energy fields, right? So floor anchors are a great tool for decision making. That's how I use it. You might know what I'm talking about under a different term. Lots of people call that lots of things. I just have translated that from German into English and think that's quite okay. So what are floor anchors? Floor anchors are the use of papers, like when we talked yesterday about constellation with tools other than figurines. We were also talking about having a paper, writing the name of the family member, putting them on the floor, and then allowing the client to step on it and represent the person, right? So floor anchor is a little bit similar. It's just not working with the family system. It's working with the decisions one wants to make. So let's make an example. A client comes and he has a question about his job. He is in a job. He doesn't know if it's good to stay. He wants to know if it would be good to leave the job, find another job, and he also has an offer for another job. which he's not sure about neither. And then he might has even some aspirations or dreams from childhood that he has never fulfilled that he might also wants to pursue now. So now let's say he has 4 different, opportunities, and he's very undecisive. Now you could write a floor anchor, meaning a piece of paper, on one side, just one word about the option that he has, like old job, new job, totally different job, or childhood dream. So, and then you mix them all up, and then you put them upside down so nobody knows which papers are there, and then you place them on the floor, and then you ask your client to step on each paper, which looks blank because you don't see what's written on it. And then I will demonstrate that. Then you can see by the reaction of the client, because although they don't know where they are standing on, they are connected with the morphogenetic field, and they are receiving this energy from it, and they will have a body language or an emotion that is conveying to you if that would be a good thing to do or not, right? So that's basically a floor anchors. So we love to do that in decision making. And also, by the way, in family constellations, when you have a client and the client, she comes with 3 issues. So she wants a constellation, but she has 3 issues. One is probably her health, the second one is her child, and the third one is her partner. And then she talks about everything, and she said, oh, I don't know where to start. I don't know what would be the right thing to do today. Then you can also use the floor anchors to make a decision where to start with. That is the second use of the floor anchors, finding the issue to work with. And then tips and tricks how to make that work, easy work, is you always use short words, of course, on the paper, right, to allow the morphic field to have their own interpretation of it. You add an empty sheet. I found that very, very valuable, because you know how when there is chemical or pharmaceutical testings, like they always have like this neutral test medium, right? To compare whatever they add findings, right? Or when I measure the nutritions in my aquascapes, in my fish tanks, I always take my tap water, that would be neutral. Then I have the values of what I want to measure, and then I take my aquarium water, and then I compare, and then I know what is changed. So this empty sheet in a floor anchor does the same. So when your client steps on that and he feels neutral, that's brilliant. That's a really, really good. And it might even be that in the end he chooses this, because he doesn't know it's the empty sheet, that he chooses this as the one he wants to take, right? And then all decisions that was in the head of your clients, there is something he hasn't thought about yet. There is another solution. Yeah, and that's really, really interesting to find out if that is the case. If you would not add an empty sheet, you would narrow down the field to the options your client came up with. But we all know life is not as such. The universe has normally much better, much more options for us, and this is the empty sheet is representing that. Another tip is if the client steps on the empty sheet and doesn't feel well, like that can also happen. It's either neutral or it doesn't really feel, doesn't want that at all, right? Then that also means that he needs guidance. He needs he needs a strict regime or routine or guidance and decision, or he cannot cope with the openness of possibilities, so to speak. So that's also an interesting information that you get just using or adding an extra sheet. Do not use more than 3 or 4 anchors at a time. It gets too confusing. If somebody comes with you and has 10 options, you would ask them, okay, take the 3 that you think are the most important to you, and just forget about the others. So they have to use a 3. Or you, if you have a client who's really difficult to make decisions, then you said, okay, we start with the one that the least important, and then you go from backwards, right, until you find the three ones you want to work with plus the empty sheet. So you would have 4 papers. So now when you have the client standing on the papers, you need to be in a position towards the client where you can clearly observe the body language. And the body language in this case is most importantly if the body goes forward or backwards. It's like a pendulum. And so you can't see that when you stand in front of the client or behind. You have to stand next to your client about 2 meters away and observe this from the side. Yeah. Then you can clearly see if the body leans forward or backwards. This is the most important information because leaning forward means yes and leaning backward means no. This is like muscle testing. You know muscle test, eh? So you can also use this when you're in a supermarket and there's a new product you want to test and you don't know whether it's good for you. You put it onto your heart and then you wait a second or two and see if your body falls forwards or backwards. And when the body falls forward, you know it's good for you. And when it falls backwards, you put it back in the shelf and don't touch it. So this is a very good. So that's really the most important information you get from your client, if it's a yes or a no. Sometimes there is no such thing as the body is not moving, but you see facial expressions. Like you see if there's a positive reaction, like a relief or a kind of happiness in the face, or if there is worries or fear or disgust or something like this going on. And you take mental notes or you put it in your sheet, in your note sheet, so you don't forget it and you don't mix it up. Because a client will not remember that maybe, yeah, because he's connected with the field. So you are the one who's observing. Don't ask your clients afterwards. If you missed something, you have to repeat it, right? And always use the first reaction. The first reaction is the most important because after that, the client might, oh, I may feel better than I thought. Like the client moves backward first and then comes forward and said, oh, actually not too bad. I think I quite like it here. And then but he moved backwards when he stand on the sheet. You have to trust this. This is the most important information that you will get. So you have to be there, present, and see the first reaction when the step. Not looking in your notebook and then looking up, and then he has already spent a few seconds on the sheet, and then you miss the first reaction, right? But that would be the most important one. Okay, so now we are doing our exercise, or let's say I do the demonstration, and both internal constellation and floor anchor, and then we see where we are time-wise with the break, and we either do your exercise because you're going to exercise this too before or after the break. So let's stop sharing here and get that out of the way. I start with floor anchors. Who wants to work with me with floor anchors? Julie. Okay, please go and grab a few sheets of blank papers and a pencil. Are you well organized? It's all there. Oh, that helps. Very good. Is there any questions to what I have just said? Okay. Okay, now please unmute. Very good. Now it is a little bit different because we do this virtually. When you have the client in your room, it's much easier, right? So you just have to translate everything to the real life situation. So Julie, first of all, what kind of decisions you are like in between? What is it
Yeah.
about?
Mine's about a job. I'm got some work at the moment, and I'm thinking of resigning. I might get sacked as well, given mandates. But yeah.
Okay,
So
and
that's
then
the
do you have?
decision.
Okay, and what would be the other option?
The other option is to go more into my business work, so my kinesiology, Reiki, or get a part-time job and do that as well. So yeah, so
Right.
there's 3 options at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, so then write on one sheet of paper, keeping old job.
Yeah.
Other sheet of paper, looking for new job. And the third piece of paper would be self-employed. Is there anything else that you might?
Maybe just another one in case there's something I haven't thought of.
A blank sheet.
Or the yeah, a blank sheet.
Definitely. Yeah. So now you have 4 sheets, right?
Yep.
Okay, now turn them around so you don't see what you have written, and mix this a little bit up so you really don't know which sheets you have in front of you. Very good. You would do that for your client, right? When you are working, you do that for your client. No? Okay. Now, can you adjust your camera that we can see you when you stand up? Is that possible? Awesome. Great.
Right?
That's fantastic. A little bit higher so we can see your face. Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay. Now, what I haven't said is when you work with your client, you ask your client to look at like a blank wall or a door, not at a picture, not out of the window, nothing that is really influencing, like something very, very neutral, right? So if you turn your left side towards the camera, Julie, what do you see in front of you?
I've got some charts on that wall.
And when you turn around, what do you see then?
Mainly blank wall.
Then stay like this. Okay. Now your 4 pieces of papers, because we don't have so much. Normally you would let your client lay all 4 out. Today, because we don't want you to move, I would ask you to put 1 sheet at a time down. Yeah. So you grab the first one. Okay. And when I say now, you step on it. Take a deep breath. Okay, exhale through the mouth, look at the wall, and now step on the sheet. See what you're doing?
Yep.
You can feel it. You lean backwards. What kind of emotion do you have?
Disinterested.
Okay, very good. So now you would write into your client's note sheet or whatnot, no, because that was a no, and then emotion is disinterested. Okay. Now we grab the next one. And don't look at it, Julie.
I'm trying not to.
Not now. We look at it later. But make sure we know which one it was,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I wrote on the back of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
Oh,
Second.
sorry.
Okay. So deep breath. Open mouth, exhale. Open your eyes. Look at the wall. And step on the paper now. Continue breathing. This actually looks very much like the blank sheet of paper. It doesn't have to be, but we consider. What do you feel, Julie?
Nothing. That's kind of, yeah.
Okay, good. Nothing. So it's at a good nothing. Now you, because it is probably not the blank sheet of paper, now you have to ask, is that a good nothing or a bad nothing?
Neither.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, I kind of feel balanced.
What do you feel?
Balanced.
Balanced. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So the emotion would be balanced. Yeah. Okay. That's number 2. Then number 3. Okay. Take a deep breath. Open mouth, exhale. Look at the wall. And step on the paper now. Mhm. There you go. Clearly to be seen. That goes forward. Goes forward again. That's a good sign. So what's the emotion, Julie?
It feels excitement.
Excitement.
Yeah.
A positive, obviously. A
Yeah,
feeling.
positive.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Mhm. Okay, that would be number 3. That would be a yes. You write in your sheet yes, and the emotion is excitement. Now number 4. Take a deep breath. Open mouth, exhale. Look at the wall. Continue breathing. And step on the paper now. Okay. That is a no. What is your emotion?
Kind of feel a bit sick, like
Sick. Okay.
yeah, I don't.
Like seasick.
Just uneasy. Yeah.
Like seasick.
Yeah.
Okay. So write
Yeah.
down number 4 is the no, and the emotion is sickness. Or feeling sick, or something like that. Right. Now turn around number 2 first. That was the neutral one.
Looking for a new job. It's probably hard to read.
Looking for a new job was neutral. How interesting. What emotion was with it again? Balanced.
Balanced. Yeah.
Well, let's put that aside. Don't know what to make out of this right now.
No.
Okay, let's see the first one. The first one was a no.
No. Keeping old job. That's what I thought.
Very good. So
actually.
that's a clear. That's a clear one.
That's
Okay.
surprising. Yeah.
No surprises there. Okay. Then the other no was number 4.
Yes. And that's the blank page.
The blank page is no, so there is no other option. And you felt sick as well, you said.
Yeah.
Like when you're seasick, you get disorientated.
Yes, yeah.
And the blank sheet doesn't give orientation. So this, in this case, this means she need to decide.
Okay.
So in this case, you have to tell your client, this is obviously the sign that you need to decide now.
Yeah.
Okay, and now what is now the yes? That was your
was
self-employed.
self-employed. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, Julie, that is very much needed in these times anyhow.
Yeah.
Very much needed.
Yeah, it's just more the head gets in and goes, oh, what if I don't, support
Maybe
myself?
from the pragmatic point, you get sacked.
Yeah.
Get your benefit, whatever you get as employment, whatever,
Yeah.
and build your business in have some time to build up your business.
Yeah.
So that would be the solution. So this was very clear, wasn't it? Are you happy with this, Julie?
Yeah, thank you. That was good.
Very good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so that was that. That is the exercise of the floor anchor. I probably have not mentioned a couple of more details that just come to my mind. Of course, the client shouldn't have shoes on when they do that.
Yep.
It is also better not to be barefoot because the paper sticks on the feet. So they should wear socks, or that you should put the sheet under a tea towel or whatever, rug, or nothing too thick, a tea towel or a paper towel or something. If your client does not have socks, yeah, on him, on her. And as you have seen in this exercise, even if you put all 4 sheets, you always, before each step, they have to realign, yeah? So work very precisely with this, don't rush it. It is really, it's influencing the result, if you would, take too many steps at a time or something like that. And it would probably also, it would influence the results in a way because the client would be confused and not, and then, you want, obviously, when you are facilitating, you are guiding your client so the client always feels safe and guided. No, that's the important part of your work. No, that is that the client is following you blindly, obviously, and trust you and feel safe. Okay, so now we do an internal constellation. Who wants to volunteer for that? Alessandra, okay. So now, Alessandra, we are going through our this is kind of like a one-on-one situation where you ask your client. We forget about the intro. We don't do that now. Just we go right to it. What would it be about? And it would be something that you would like to constellate.
I would like to constellate that every morning I wake up with a huge anguish that take me long time for me to settle and get on with my day. But it's every morning. It's like really tight chest, really anguish. Like I don't want to get up.
I don't want to what? Get up? You want to stay in bed?
Yes.
You want to stay in bed? And what makes you get out of the bed then?
Well, I do breathing exercise. I scan my body. I take myself through a lot of kind of mindfulness and grounding exercises, breathing, and then I have to get up. Yes,
so you do get up. Well, good.
Up. I mean, yes, I can't.
Yeah, very good. So this is about the first waking. So since when do you have that? The first waking up, is that the first moment when you wake up?
Since I remember, always difficult to get up to go to school, difficult to not wanting really to go and face the world.
Good. Okay, so let's work with that. Close your eyes and relax. Sit on the edge of your chair. Relax your shoulders. Relax the jaw, the neck. That's great. Take a deep inhale. Open mouth exhale. Yes. Continue deep breathing through the nose, into your belly, keeping your shoulder relaxed. And with every deep breath into your belly, you get more relaxed. Thoughts drop away. The mind calms down. And you sink deeper into your inner space of peace and tranquility. And you come to your happy place that you can picture as an indoor or outdoor space. And it is a space where you are safe, where you have everything under control, a space where there's no past and no future, a space where there's no guilt or shame or fear, only presence in the moment, being able to fully observe everything that is going on. Now you picture yourself when this anxiety in the morning started. And you also picture your mother and your father. And you picture a person for that you are afraid of in the morning. And with keeping your eyes closed, you can clearly see them in front of your inner eyes. And I would like you now to describe to me where you stand in relationship to your mother, your father, and the person for the anxiety.
I'm lying, laying in the floor, and I have three of them in front of me. My mother at the left, in the center, my father, and in the right, the anxiety.
Okay, very good. Just describe to me the person that is representing the anxiety.
It's totally white and blank. No face, no gender, totally neutral.
Very good. Where is your mother looking at?
My mother is looking like beyond myself.
Is she looking in your direction and over you, or is she facing away from you?
Is in my direction, but over me.
And your father, where is he looking at?
My father is looking to the floor.
Is he looking at you or closer to him?
To the floor, closer to him.
And the neutral person in white, can you see any direction?
Yeah, I feel like he's looking at me.
Yes. How do you feel when you look at her or him?
I feel paralyzed, terrified. I almost can't breathe.
What happened if you look at your mother?
She's looking beyond myself to my back. I don't find connection to my mother.
How does it make you feel?
very lonely and desperate, like helpless, like like I would like to scream, but I can't.
And when you look at your father, how does that make you feel? Seeing him looking down.
As well, this connection, he's kind of looking at his own business. He's not looking at me at all.
Okay, now we add another person.
Mhm.
That would be lying at the spot where your father is looking at. Can you see that?
Yes,
Describe this to me.
but now I feel like a relief,
Mhm.
and yes, it's definitely an adult, and my father now is kneeling next to the person.
Is it a man or a woman lying down?
Looks like a woman,
Mhm.
but not really sure, but it looks like a woman.
Mhm. Is the woman, are the eyes open or closed of the woman?
Closed.
Ask the woman how she feels.
How do you feel? Uh, she said that she's dead. She doesn't feel anything because she's dead.
Very good. Okay. Very good. How is your father feeling?
He's very upset and overwhelmed. It's like
Mhm.
he's crying.
Mhm. Very good. Has anything changed in your mother?
Yeah, now she turned her back to my father and the dead woman, and she's looking outside of the scene.
How's that for you?
I feel angry.
Mhm. And this neutral person in white, has anything changed there when you look at it?
Yeah, now is looking more like a person. It's like an old man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know him. He's an old man,
Mhm.
and it has like a aura, like a golden aura.
Okay, so when you look at this person, how do you feel now?
I kind of like him, and I feel very connected to him,
Mm, very good.
almost loved.
Hmm. Say to him, please give me your blessing
Please give me your blessings
and bless my father too.
and bless my father too,
And the woman he is upset about.
and the woman that he's upset about.
Please help them to find peace.
Please help them to find peace.
What is he doing?
The person,
Yeah, the white.
yes, the white, he is irradiating all this energy to my father, the woman, my mother, me. All the space is filled by this love. It's very loving energy. He's a loving man.
Hmm. Very good. Now look at your father and the woman. What's your father doing now?
Now he's lying next to the woman and cuddling.
Hmm. Good. How do you feel when you see that?
I feel a relief. It's like it's right. And also it's nothing to do with me.
Okay. Then get up and say to them, I leave you with this.
I leave you with this.
I see the love you have for each other.
I see the love that you have for each other.
That is all that counts.
That is all that counts.
And now you get up and step away from them. Just a few steps backwards. How is that?
It's very good. Now I'm grown. I'm like adult because
Mm-hmm.
I used to be like a little baby.
Mm-hmm.
And now my mom came next to me.
Ah, yeah.
She's here.
Where's she looking at?
Uh, we are looking at the center.
What's in the center?
My dad and the woman.
Okay. Say to your mother, look at them, see their love for each other.
Look at them, see their love for each other.
This is destiny, we have to accept that.
This is the destiny that we are, and we have to accept that.
How's she feeling about that?
Now she hugged me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels very good. Feels like right.
Okay, do you have a pillow? You want to grab it and hug your mother too? Deep breathing. Deep breathing.
And she's saying that I'm her little girl,
Mm-hmm.
and she said that now she's gonna take good care of me.
Wonderful.
Mm,
And
yes.
open your heart. Open your heart and breathe all her love and care into your heart.
And now the man, this grew. He's so big, and he's like wrapping us all with
Mm,
the light. It's really nice and warm.
wonderful.
Mm.
To soak that all in, this light, this shield of protection. and say, please stay with me every morning
Please stay with me every morning
and through the whole night.
and through the whole night.
So I feel safe and protected and nourished.
So I feel safe, protected, and nourished,
And cared for
and cared for,
and loved.
and loved. Yeah, now after that, he's more like an angel, and his arms are wings.
Mhm. Very good.
Yeah, feels really nice being under his wings.
Is he saying something?
He said to me that I'm very loved
Very good.
and he's my guardian.
Very good.
Mm.
Very good. So we leave it here. You come out into your room where you feel the body weight on your chair. And in your own time, you open your eyes. Mm.
Ooh. Mm. Thank you. It was really beautiful.
Very good. Thank you for volunteering. So now you have all observed how this works. I mean, Alessandra, did you memorized it as well, right?
Yes.
So what you see is it is a family constellation, no different to anything else. The only thing is that your client is giving you all the information. And as you have seen, no suggestive questions at all. You ask your client what they see, you ask where, what, how it feels. That's it, right? And the only suggestions you do is like in family constellation is to look somewhere else to see how that feels, right? And then obviously, like in a family constellation, you add that or the person who is missing, which was obviously a person the father was looking at. And here was already the solution or the resolution. That all works like in the family constellation. It's just that your client is representing everybody and has to give you all the information. So in this methodology, the questions are paramount. How you are questioning. So does it very structured, very simple, just work with 2 or 3 representatives at a time. So you're not losing track. And you kind of, you see for you, this is a constellation that you see. So this information you get from your client is drawing a picture in your mind that you see the constellation. And then you know what to do. Because you see where is the point where the love hasn't flowed. The interrupted love. The interrupted movement towards love. And there you also then you obviously or naturally with what you know about the orders of love, you can add that what is missing. And then you suggest, of course, like we do, the right words to say, yes, please, thank you, and all the variation of it. And again, colors are very important. This person that are representing her anxieties. In the morning, you would expect it to be black, right? And it was white. Hmm? So if you would have said, okay, now for your anxiety, picture a black person, you would have missed the whole constellation. Just because you assume anxiety is black, fear, from the chart, right? But we never know for what it stands for. And it was a guardian angel, which is often, in the end, is anyhow all the time. So the fear is always that was helps us to grow. Okay, so we have actually time to do that before the break. So are there any questions before I get you into the rooms to do your exercise? Not good. So when you do your exercise, please remember, this is not about a client that you help. This is about you doing this for the first time. So you have to have the chance to start all over again when you got stuck somewhere, say, whatever, drop it, start anew. This is your time to find out how you can work with it. Yeah, use this time wisely and don't think you have to achieve anything. You don't have to achieve anything. You just have to use your time to find your way to perform an internal constellation or the beginnings of it. Yeah, you don't need to conclude it. You don't need to find what means. This is all not the exercise. The exercise is that you find a way to practice to facilitate an internal constellation. Okay, or you can also choose to do a floor anchor. So this is your choice. So we are obviously have now two groups with two people. You choose when you are the client, or doesn't matter, or let's say you are the facilitator. You can choose if you want to do with your partner, because a partner is there to serve you. So you choose if you want to do a floor anchor exercise or an internal constellation exercise. And you don't need to have a real issue. You can make one up. Yeah, this is not about that in this exercise. Cool. So we have 30 minutes. Yeah, Mana.
Very quickly, for floor anchors, the only issue we should ideally take is when there's a choice, right?
Actually, yes. That's how I use it. I would not know how to use it otherwise. Otherwise, I would rather do a family constellation.
Okay,
No,
thank you.
no. Okay. Each one has 15 minutes. That's a lot of time, more than we just used. Yeah. So use the time. Don't rush anything. Start anew if you got stuck. Have 3 or 4 goes to start if you feel that's what you need to do, or change everything around in the middle. Just use your time and make the most out of it. I put the timer on, and I put it on 15 minutes. So when the timer runs out, you can swap. And then is the other. As the other want to go and facilitate. Okay, let's do the breakout rooms. No, sorry. Open all rooms. Here we go. Can you see them? Okay, very good.
Uh-oh.
Hello back.
Hello.
All right. We probably better share. We can have a break now and share after, or share now. It's probably better to share now. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, let's go. Who wants to start? And you're talking predominantly about when you were facilitating, right?
Mhm. Well,
Yeah,
I
I can
can
start.
start.
Sorry. Now, Alejandro, you go.
Okay. Okay. Yes, I facilitated Julie, and it was a internal constellation where she wanted to constellate um, a fear that she feels with the idea to be self-employed. And we started with a little meditation like you did, centering, taking her to a safe and happy place. And what we started with choosing a person, I mean, asking her to visualize a person representing the fear. And she saw this person with a cover in a dark cloak, very, very dark and dark, heavy, dense energy. And she felt, and she couldn't look at this person, so she looked to the other direction, and I asked her where she was looking at, and she was looking when she was a 1-year-old baby, playing in the beach with her mom, having a very happy time together. And when that essence came, the fear was lose power, but it still was there, a little bit further, but still was there. And she, I asked her to walk towards her mother and her little one, her little self, and she felt this sense of joy. But not further. She started to feel like her mom wasn't present. She was distracted, like she thought that was looking for her dad. And I asked to see where her dad was, and her dad was swimming with her brother, and it seemed like it was okay, very playful. And her mom was still very distracted, not present, and she really was needing her being present. So even when I asked her to, I suggested to ask her, Mom, look at me, or please, Mom wouldn't connect. So I asked her to bring what she was looking for, and it came up her granddad. And then Mom became really little and wanting to hide from her dad, and the granddad was a strong figure, like poking her and bullying her. And well, and then the mom said, I was afraid, I'm afraid, I'm scared at you. And he was very happy. And then when he shows that she was happy, she became angry. So I asked her, say, I'm angry at you. And he said, yes, that is what I want to hear. And then when he said that, she said, I'm hurt. I'm hurt. And then he was upset, and he was able to say, I see, I didn't know how much it hurt. And she said, yes, it hurt so much, to the point that she ended, they ended kneeling on his feet and hugging him on the legs. And on that time, Julie started to really feel a great relief. And her dad was, and the granddad was stroking on the heads of on her daughter, and he said, I just wanted you to be strong. And she said, I can see that you were protecting me. And then I asked Julie to look at the cloak, the person with the cloak. And the person with the cloak didn't have a cloak anymore and was a woman with a beautiful long hair. And the expression of Julie was a very happy and loving expression. So I asked her to ask for her blessings. And when she did that, the lady opened her arms and blew golden dust on her that became butterflies around her.
Nice.
And
Okay.
she took time to take all that in, and then they all have hands.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So how was this for you, Alessandra, to guide her?
Yeah, it was. I felt it was very fluid and very clear for me to observe everything. I just got a little bit lost when the mom. I saw this interrupted movement towards the mother, and it took me a while to find the way out. At first, I brought the father, but the father didn't do any difference. And then I had doubts. I had to stop, breathe, and actually I communicate to her that I was taking my time to find the way through, because and then I thought, oh, let's bring whatever her mom is looking for. And then it came, and that was came the granddad, and that again was the flow came back, and I was really almost things were happening by themselves, and I just was just following the movement of the energy and what was happening. So I felt confident.
Yeah, very good. That's a very good experience for you to realize that when you're connected with the field, it feels like a flow, like light. It doesn't feel like hard work at all. It doesn't even feel like you're doing anything. That is a sign for connection with the morphogenetic field, right? And that just because you get sometimes lost and don't have the connection doesn't mean that it cannot come back, right? You always need to have a recovery plan, so to speak, if you find yourself in this place where you get lost, which you will all the time. I mean, that's how it goes, right? And good job that you did recover. Nice. Thank you for sharing. Who wants to go next? Claudia?
I want to congratulate Alejandra for doing the internal constellation. I didn't feel brave enough to actually go and do that one. So I was the facilitator for Mana we used the floor anchors. And it was about her marriage and whether she wants to stay in a marriage or go or live as friends. So we actually wrote on one of the first paper, staying in the marriage. On the second paper, it was like leaving the marriage, like divorce. And the third paper was living together, but legally divorced. And then we had a blank piece of paper where there was nothing written on it. And so, I made sure that Mana looks at a wall that is fairly blank so she can't get distracted, and asked her to put the first paper, mix up the papers, put one on the floor, and then close her eyes, stand in front of the paper, close her eyes, have a couple of deep breaths in and out, just to, relax herself, and then open her eyes and look at the blank wall, and then step on the paper. So we did that with all four, and the first one was like she slightly went back in this, it was a excited nervousness. And so that was clear, you know, it's a no, you know. The second one was also a back movement, very clear, and she felt scared. The third paper was she was quite stable, so there was not much not really a visible movement, but she felt happy. There was a smile on her face. And the fourth paper was a slight backward, not really back, but she said the feeling was run away. And so when we turned over the papers, we saw the first paper was actually the staying in the marriage, which was an absolute no. The second one, leaving the marriage, that was the second paper? Yes, it was the second paper, was no, you know, not leaving the marriage. It was a no. But where we had an absolute yes was actually for living together as friends, but being legally divorced. Yeah.
And what was the blank sheet of paper?
That was slightly back and run away.
Yeah, okay. Right. So so you got some clear, you know, you got some clear pictures out of that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Very good. How was that for you, Claudia?
Yeah, that was really good. It's like, well, I chose actually obviously the easier option where it was easy to look, because another thing is with also looking at the screen, and I haven't done that in a long time with papers. I used to do it, you know, 20 years ago, but I've forgotten about it. But it was really good, and it actually filled me up with confidence that I can do something like that without actually getting too flustered. Yeah.
That's good. That's exactly what you need to experience when you practice. So there is no competition, not with somebody else, not with yourself. There is no need to you know, do something. Eventually, you have to do everything, also things you are uncomfortable with, but you don't need to start with this. So yeah, so I think that was a very wise decision, Claudia.
Yeah, thank you.
Good, awesome. So who wants to share? Mana?
Sure. So yes, I was with Claudia, and Claudia had a request that she didn't feel up to an internal constellation because she's not in that frame of mind right now. I was very happy to go with floor anchors myself. What Claudia wanted to see was she needs to move houses currently, and she wanted to see if she should be in house, if she should be renting, buying, or she should be in community living. And we followed all the steps. The fourth paper was a neutral paper where, you know, we thought there may be an option where we don't know if she should choose something, and followed all those exercises, like you said, point by point, with the breathing, with numbering, naming. It was very good. It was very empowering for her and for me, because I think every time, like you say, let the client do the work, I think it's so much more empowering because they authentically get the feeling out of it. And I thought, and Claudia's been toying with the idea of buying a property, but she was very scared because she didn't know if she could or not. But that's the one which came out as a very major yes. So I think that was like a bit of a boost of energy for her. And a surprise for her, because community living is what she thought in her head she always wanted to do, but in body movement it was a major no, that no, you're not supposed to do that. So I thought it was very empowering for her at the stage that she is in her life right now. So it was very good as a facilitator to see empowering your client like that.
Wonderful. That's wonderful outcome for you, Mana, for this practice session. So congratulations to that.
Thank you.
And Julie?
We only got to do Ali doing mine, so I didn't get to have a practice. We ran out of time.
Really?
Yeah.
But there was only 15 minutes for Ali, Sandra. Anyhow, so you have to stick to your time frame, right? You cannot just go on. You know, that's an exercise. It's, you know, you have to go on. So we definitely have to find a way, Julie, that you do yours as well. So we probably skip any other exercises and do that to finalize that, right? Okay, so we do that after the break. So I see you in 10 minutes. It's 10 to, what is it here? 10 to 8. So at 8 or wherever you are. See you in 10. Let's continue. Okay. So, Julie, it's your time now. Choose one of the participants, your guinea pig. With whom do you want to work?
Ali?
Okay. And then would you like to do floor anchor exercise or internal constellation?
Maybe floor.
Okay.
Because
Very
Ali's
good.
already done. Yep.
Up to you. It's your time. You can choose
Okay.
whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm fine to do whatever you need to do.
Okay.
Always there is something.
Okay, floor anchor it is.
Okay.
All right. Very good. You have 15 minutes and we are observing if you don't mind.
No,
Okay?
not at all. Okay. Hi, Ali. Do you have any paper with you there? Any plain paper and a pencil?
Yes.
Great. Awesome. Okay. Now, is there a decision that you've been mulling over or not sure about? Is there something you can think of?
Yeah, there is so many. Well, lately I already made a decision, but I have this, I'm still not 100% there. I have doubts.
Okay.
I made a decision to leave my house, which is a rental house,
Okay.
and move to the North Island. To very starting doing some woofing.
Okay.
Yes.
So what is it that you're not sure about?
Well, I have this voice inside of me saying that is a suicidal decision. I'm kind of doing packing and doing all my decluttering, and then I have, this is suicidal, and it's kind of, yes, it's kind of, it's kind of scary.
Okay.
Yeah, of making, I don't want to make this suicidal decisions.
Okay. So you've already made the decision to move though, yes?
Yes, I haven't,
Yes.
I'm starting to make a step towards it, but I haven't, I mean, I'm planning to go to do woofing. I have already a woofing to do in the North Island. And I'm applying to other places.
Oh, okay, so you just haven't found the house yet. Do you know where in the North Island you want to live, or is that still?
No, I'm up to like having an exploration.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, I'm not moving to another house. It's the first time that I'm moving that that I don't have another house or another job or another nothing. I just feel like my cycle here is over and I need to do something different.
Okay. Okay. So in terms of a decision, what would help you the most? What would you like to know? Would you like to know where you're going to live, or would you like to know?
I would like to really do the testing on stepping on the papers for moving.
Moving. Okay.
Moving.
Yeah.
Yes, moving to my first destination, that is Otaki. I'm going to do a woofing in Otaki.
Okay. So that's the first one. Okay. And what would be the second?
The option will be stay here and keep in the same like situation that I don't have much options for change here.
Okay, so just staying where you are would be the
Yes,
second one.
stay where
Yeah.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah. And what about is there a third one that you've been considering? So first one, moving to a taki, the second one, staying where you are. Is there any others?
Yes, is another good thing to work in a biodynamic farm
Okay.
in Coromandel.
Okay.
I really want to learn to grow food.
Great. Okay, so are you writing? Have you started writing or not
Yes,
yet?
I have
okay.
one for Otaki, other for staying.
Yep.
And another for Coromandel.
Okay. And can you grab a fourth one and just leave it blank?
Yes.
Okay, great. And I'll get you to turn them over and shuffle them so that you can't see which is which.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. And when you're ready, I'll get you, can you stand up and move
Yes,
slightly your camera so we can see?
This is my kitchen.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'll get you to turn one way. Just choose one way. Maybe if you can come a little bit closer to the camera. Can you come a little bit closer? Yep.
Yes.
There. Okay. And what are you looking at if you're looking that way?
I'm looking at a blank white wall.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So that's comfortable to stand there?
Yes.
Okay. I'll get you to place one of the sheets without looking at it on the floor in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Yep, that's great. Okay, and just looking up at the wall, staring ahead and taking a deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, stepping forward onto the paper. Okay, yep, great. So that's going backwards. And oh, what are you feeling there?
Yeah, I feel like, no, it's not.
No, no. Any other emotion that you feel?
No, it's just no, and yeah, like pushing away.
Pushing away? Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay, so I'll just get you to pick up that piece of paper without looking at it. And grab the next one.
Do you want me to write something on this?
Oh, yes, you can write a no on that one. And just put number 1 on it, just so we know that was number 1. Thank you. Okay, and again, just looking ahead at the plain blank wall, taking a deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, stepping forward.
Yeah, I feel very excited about this one.
Okay.
Yeah, very excited.
Okay.
I feel my body. Ooh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And just standing still for a minute and just allowing your body to go forward or back or to remain where it is, wherever it needs to be. Okay. And when you're ready, just stepping off. And I'll just get you to write number 2 on that one. Okay, and the next one when you're ready. Okay, and looking ahead at the wall, eyes open. Yeah, that's it. Taking a deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, stepping forward onto the paper. Okay, and how do you feel on that one?
Oh, I feel very confident, very grounded.
Okay, yeah. Okay, and I'll get you to write number 3 on that one.
Oh, I am.
Okay, just opening your eyes and looking, that's okay. Opening your eyes and looking straight ahead at that wall, taking a deep breath in and out, and stepping onto the paper when you're ready. Okay. How are you feeling there? Anything coming up?
I feel like not very sure about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll just
And
get
a
you
little bit of reticent.
Yep.
Mhm.
okay. And I'm
And also curious. Sorry, but I as well
curious.
curious. Yeah.
Curious. Resistant and curious? Or
Yeah.
just
Little
more
bit
curious?
suspicious.
Okay.
And
Okay.
curious.
Great. Okay. So I'll get you to write number 4 on that one when you're ready. And then you can take a seat. How was that?
It's very fun.
Yeah.
Yes, it is fun.
So I'll just get you to have a look at number 1. One you wrote number 1 on, I should say.
Who is the Otaki one?
Ah, and that one was a definite no, wasn't it? It was the definite
Yes.
no backwards, and your emotion, you said you were pushing it away.
Yes,
Mm.
yes. Wow, that is interesting because it's the more certain one.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, and number 2?
That was number 4, Julie, because that was also no.
Yes.
2 and 3 were yes. Yeah.
2 and 3 were yes, yes.
Mm.
Though 2 was a bit more neutral, yes. It wasn't a real definite forward, but
I would always delete the no's first.
okay. Okay,
yeah.
so then number 4 then?
Oh, the Coromandel one.
Oh. So that was a no, and that was the resistant, curious, and suspicious.
Yeah, it was like,
Okay. And number 2?
Number 2 was nothing.
Okay. Okay. And number 2, the body movement was a bit more neutral, maybe slightly forward, but I wrote down, but the emotion was excited. So
Yes, I remember. It was really, really exciting on the body. Yes. And nothing.
And nothing. So I don't know, would that perhaps be that there might be another option that you haven't considered?
That's
Yes.
exactly what it is.
Yes.
And then the third one was
Is staying.
Staying where you are, and you
Yes.
and the emotion there was confident.
Confident.
Yeah. So I don't know what you get from that, but perhaps.
Oh, because it's what is the known. Is what
Yeah,
I know.
it's yeah.
Yeah.
Comfortable. Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe it gives you confidence.
Yes,
Yeah.
I feel like, yes, it's what I know. The rest is all unknown.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ooh, I never
Interesting.
thought. Now I'm more lost than when I
Maybe we need to explore that third, the second option.
I
Yeah.
would
Blank,
say,
what that blank might be.
I would say, Alexandra, you're lucky that Julie did that for you before you dropped everything to go to Otaki.
Yes, yes. But one thing interesting is that because everything was, I really felt that the change is coming, but it was so overwhelming to decide where, when, and the rest, that I've been focused on doing a good transition, whatever it is. So that is what I'm still good doing, the decluttering, still good having nice closures on my processes, still good.
Yeah,
And,
very good. And
mhm.
how was that for you, Julie? So first of all, you were spot on in your time frame, which is congratulations. That's a good point. Secondly, how was it for you?
Yeah, it was good. When I first was doing the decision making, I thought when Ali was going into that she was fearful and scary, then it was probably more of that internal
Yeah.
constellation. Yeah, but then we hashed out, I guess, what the decisions were. So then it was good. It was interesting to see. And you can definitely see the body movements for most of them, which was good.
Yeah. So definitely there's even if it is slight, it's like the backwards were quite strong. They don't need to be that strong. It can be really, it is like this movement is a yes, this movement, or this movement is a no. Like really, really, really subtle. So there's not, the big movements that can happen, but that's not necessarily that big. Okay, very good. So I'm glad you all had time to do this exercise. So now we are continuing with whatever is left here from our teaching content. And there's also something we probably don't need to go into much details there anyhow, because I'm sure you are all, already, who knows essential oils? You all do, eh? Yeah, yeah. So we don't need to talk. The only thing I really want to talk to you is how I do that actually. So I only use it for emotions. I never use it for physical ailments. I mean, I do it on myself, but not for my clients. And there is an app or this book. I just know this one book. There may be more, Mana. Is that a question?
Sorry. Yes, sorry, Maya. Before we move to essential oils, just one question on floor markers.
Yeah.
I've worked with these before, and one experience I'd had was I used to experiment a lot to see things, and it gave me a beautiful result. And for some reason, I tried it again after 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But the response I got was different the second time around. And then that kind of made me skeptical, and it made me curious that am I right the first time? Am I right the second time? Or should I not work with this at all?
Mhm.
So how do we explain the change in the energy we feel?
You always have that with everything. That's exactly what you have also in the essential oil reading. If you have the tool, which I show you, the Itobi device here, this one. Oh, hang on, I have to go back. Hang on. This was not coming out. Yeah, here we go. That's exactly what happens when I use this twice. Exactly the same. It never is the same result. It is always a different result. So so there are lots of things that you have to consider. First of all it is like in the floor anchor, everything that is, or like in a family constellation, what is first is right. You
Okay.
always pick that what comes first, that comes from the field. You need to understand, why would you repeat it? That's the question here. Why would you repeat it? That's the question. So that means there is a distrust in the results. Yeah? And this distrust makes you, is kind of creating the field for the next testing, which will assure you the distrust. So this is in everything what you do is like this. So if you read tarot or if whatever you do, it is always the same. It will never be the same result if you do it another time, because in between the first and the second time there was distrust, or you were disappointed about the result. You wanted a certain outcome. You were not open to the outcome, though you want to read it again. And this is influencing the second reading. So this is then what stands there, right? So this doesn't give you a clear result. Julie?
Maya, I was just going to say that happens a lot, Mana, in kinesiology.
Yeah.
And what I find is that the first response is your subconscious. So it's giving you, and I don't know, it's giving you the correct answer. When the mind gets in, it wants, say, the different answer that Maya was talking about. And so that's the mind, whether it's fear playing out, if that, you know, or whatever it might be, but it's usually coming from the mind and not, you know, the subconscious.
Yeah. Yes. True. So yeah, that's definitely, we always go with the first impulse. And also when you place figurines or when you ask representative how they feel, don't give them a second chance. What they say is what you take. So when I use essential oils, I use it only to read emotions. And therefore I have either the app, Itovi app, or I have the book, and I use it intuitively. So I let the client choose 3 oils. From what I have, and then I read up in the emotions booklet what emotion is behind it, and I do the reading a little bit like this classic simple 3-card tarot reading. The first answer is where you are at, the second answer is where you are heading, and the third answer is what you need to go there. And that's it. And that's the same with the oils. How I use them, if they use an Itovi device or they do it intuitively, it doesn't matter. I read the oils, and then I know where I discuss it with them. Normally they are reassuring the results because they are normally spot on, and then you know already where to start with. This is especially great for somebody who comes for the first session, or somebody who has not done family constellation, or somebody who's very much in the mind, to kind of crack open a little bit the shell and get to the underlying emotion that is there. The essential oils then, in return, when you make a mixture of the oils that you have drawn, or the client has drawn, and give it as giveaway, that's what I do, then they can apply that for a few weeks, like a little vial of stuff, and then that helps in the process as well. That helps to go through. So this is how I use essential oils in the one-on-one session, and I think it works very good. Okay, and that's probably all I'd say, because we all know essential oils, right? So you can use it, of course, at the beginning or the end of a session. You can also do an oil reading at the end of the session to see where the client is now after the family constellation, and make him an oil that he can take home to integrate the result or the movement of the family constellation. That's another choice. Essential oils are great to create a calm environment. You know that. So to burn, not to burn, to diffuse essential oils is great. Make sure that you know that it's a calming scent, and it helps also to relax the client and go better in alpha state, where you work normally within the one-on-one sessions. You need your client to be in alpha state. You can prepare the client with an essential. You can just let him choose an oil and just let it apply. So he's kind of wrapped into the scent of this oil he has chosen. That is maybe good for the client for his confidentiality, or for his confident, right? Maybe. So there are also this. So we don't do that now because we have no time for that. But you got the idea, right? Where I want you to head. And if you don't know these books, I think in New Zealand, I know they're available on the Facebook page for essential oil supplies or something like that. And I think there's also an online version. So I'm sure you find it if you wanted it, or there are others. likely. So now we come to breathing. Breathing, as you know, is an integral part of our work. I mean, breathing is an integral way, like integral to our life, obviously. So what can I say? But it is really interesting, like how one deep breath can already bring the client or yourself into a better space, right? So never forget to start with breathing. Like breathing is absolutely essential. And just this 1 to 3 deep belly breath to relax is already doing the job. But however, from yoga, we know there are lots of other breathing exercises, pranayama, that you could use if you wanted to. If it's your thing, then you will find your way to that. So the deep belly breath is, I think, all we need for our work. Sometimes we need an open mouth breathing, like a forced breathing. If you have a client who has a hard time to release whatever they need to release, they cannot cry, they cannot scream, they cannot do anything else. But you are at a point in the family constellation where they need to release. So then you ask them to have a forced open mouth breathing, right? Like something like this to get that out, whatever needs to be released. Also, what is also breathing exercise that can be quite beneficial to your work is to observe the natural rhythm of the breath. So that would be not to force the breath in any way, shape, or form, but to drop everything, all sensations, and only focus awareness of the natural rhythm of the breath. This is also calming, relaxing, and grounding and focusing. It is also a good way to start the work or to integrate the practice after the family constellation or whatever healing modality you have applied in the session. Okay, and we did a lot of breathing anyhow all the time, so I think we don't need to exercise it. Now, guided meditation is the other methodology that is really, really important. And Bert Hellinger, so he didn't do the breathing thing. He wasn't a yogi or anything like this. So he didn't do the breathing exercising or anything like this, but he did always guided meditation. Sometimes in his big events or in the smaller workshops, instead of having a family constellation, he does do with clients who are sitting on the hot chair a long guided meditation, which sometimes to me actually looks like, now thinking about it, like an internal constellation basically. But a guided meditation is a little bit different, because in an internal constellation you're not suggesting anything, you're letting do the client the work. In a guided meditation you are guiding. That means you're suggesting everything practically, right, to the client, which can help tremendously if you have a client who is not open, who is not connected, who hasn't done much spiritual work yet, who really doesn't know where to start to relax. You know, you have these clients, but you need to understand, for some reason they came to you. So they want what you have to offer. You don't need to adjust to them. They come to you because they want what you have, even though they don't know it yet. So you have to always stay true to what you, you have to always stay true to what you do. Just because you have a shy client or you have a client who is kind of reserved or kind of where you feel some dismissal emotions or whatnot ever, stay true to what you do, because they are there because what you do, not because you are a chameleon and adjust your colors to everybody who comes through your door. That's not why they are there, right? So the guided meditations that Bert Hellinger always used, and I love to use as well, is first of all connecting with the family system. And if you listen to the guided meditation, the gift that you have downloaded from the newsletter sign up, that is a connecting with the family system guided meditation. So feel free to use this meditation, playing it to your client, or doing your own words, and use this meditation to connect your client. This is I do that in workshops as well. And Bert Hellinger did this only in workshops, but I think it's great for a one-on-one session where you don't have the support of representatives, that you are already connecting the client to the family system and getting already the help that he or she needs through this guided meditation. You can get support from a family member in a guided meditation if this is coming up. It's often the grandparents or somebody that you know that your client adores, who has passed away, and there is still a little bit of grief and this feeling of loss, or sometimes they never have met this ancestor, but they heard about it or they saw a picture and they feel an instantaneous connection. Like these are hints that would be a great guided meditation for your client to meet this person in this guided safe space that you are providing for your client. Because there is a message, and you would also try to find this message that this person has. So you would suggest in a guided meditation that your client sees this person he or she is talking about or adores as the only one to meet in the happy space. Another wonderful way, also Bert Hellinger used it, to start a session with or even maybe the entire session is a guided meditation, you never know what happens, is to connect with the inner child. And now you know the inner child is standing for the soul, right? And every traumatic experience that somebody has as a child is also disconnecting him from his soul, right? It's like the startled or traumatized soul is kind of jumping out of the body and may never finds the way back. So it's hanging around, but it's not fully integrated. So a connecting with the inner child meditation is also to find the soul, the inner child, and bring it back into the heart of the client, right? Which is then also in turn releasing the traumatic experience when this child, when the client, when it was a child, was traumatized, without actually needing to go there. So this might work, might not work, but it's definitely a great exercise for the client if there was a childhood trauma. It is always a good closing exercise, of course, because you want your client to leave connected with their soul. So this is also something that is lovely as in conclusion. If you have your, you have your three part, you have your opening, you have your main part, and then you have your closing, and that's also one that's wonderful for a closing session if you keep it shortish, right? 5 minutes or so. This exercise, and we can do that if you want to. You can choose at least one out of that we are actually practicing. In a guided meditation, you can also let go of foreign energies, or you can make a giving back meditation, which is wonderful to balance, like to stay to go back to the orders of love and balance out everything that has been left unbalanced in the life of the client. So I'm not sure if we have done this meditation before. This is the meditation with the staff and the crystal and the pile of gifts. Did we do this meditation? Doesn't ring a bell to you? We might do this here. Then that's probably the one. Oh, but it's up to you. You can choose. You can, in a guided meditation, release family members out of service. Sometimes there is this overwhelming feeling of the client that the family is too close, or you see when there's this need to release family or cut cords or release family members from duty, from the day-to-day life of your client, and that is wonderful to do that in a guided meditation. Okay, so we are here at the part where do we do an exercise. For this exercise, we have about 5 to 10 minutes. So just, let me know your thoughts, which of this meditation you would be more interested in. We are democratic here, so we choose the majority. So just shout out which ones you would like. Okay, I picked one. Mana, what do you say?
The one, Maya, you were trying to remind us about, the giving the gifts back, or
Giving back? Okay.
yeah.
Okay, Alessandra, which one is yours favorite?
I would like to do the releasing the family members.
Okay, Julie.
Letting go of the foreign energies, giving back the gift one.
Okay, the same as Mana. And Claudia.
Yeah, the same, letting go of the foreign energies and giving back.
Okay, very good. So we have a clear winner here. Okay, so let's do that. I probably want to stop sharing while we do that. And I like you to prepare for the meditation by sitting upright on the edge of your chair with an unsupported spine. Yeah, wiggle your shoulders a little bit, breathe down, take a deep inhale and an open mouth exhale. And then gently close eyes and continue to breathe into your belly through your nostrils, inhaling and exhaling. On your inhale, the belly goes up. On the exhale, you draw the belly in. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale everything. Now with every continued deep belly breath and with every inhale, you let go of thoughts, excitements or worries, and exhale them out. And with the next inhale, you go deeper to your inner space of peace and tranquility. And you become calm and relaxed. The heart slows down. And you enter your happy space. And in your happy space, you see a mount in front of you that you can climb up with a few steps. And on the top, there is a large chair, an armchair that you can picture in any way you like to be your armchair, like a little bit like a throne. And you go up the stairs and you sit on the chair. And you look to your right, and to your right there is a staff stick in the ground, and on top of the staff there is a huge clear crystal. It can have any shape that you might fancy. And then you look to your left, and on your left, to the left of your chair, there is a pile of gifts. They're all different sizes, they have different wrapping paper, different bows, but they all look pretty and neat and carefully put together. Now you look down into the valley and to the horizon, and you invite everyone that you have met from the beginning of your lifetime here on earth in this life, that you still have open business with. Everyone who has something from you that belongs to you. And everybody who you have, when you have something from them that you have still carried with you and not giving back. And you see on the horizon how these people you have called upon and invited are all coming, and they are coming to the stairs that lead up to your throne, and they are lining up at the bottom of the stairs. And with an open gesture, you ask the first one to come up. And the one who comes first up stands in front of your throne, and you ask them to give all the love into the staff, into the crystal staff that has been held back, that was for you, meant for you, and that has not been given. And you see how a ray of light in any kind of color is coming from the heart of this person into the crystal on your staff, and the crystal takes on this color and fills with this light and starts to glow in this light and in this color. And when this ray of light has stopped, and all the love that has been held back by this person towards you is in form of love and light in this crystal, you grab to the left one of the gifts and give it to him and say, "This is what I have carried for you. Please take it back. It belongs to you. This is my gift to you." And you see how this person is taking this gift, takes a little bow, says thank you, and you say thank you too. And then you watch him leaving on the other side, steps down, and you invite the next person to come up. And you ask the next person to release all the love that it has been held back, that was meant towards you, into the crystal on the staff. And you see how a ray of light comes from the heart of this person in a specific color, and that goes into the crystal. And the crystal starts to shine with a mixture of the lights that are already in there in a beautiful way, unique colors, unique sparkling colors. And then you choose a gift from your pile for this person. And you give it to him with the words, "This is for you. I have carried that for you. And now I want to give it back to you because it belongs to you." And you see how this person takes the gift, takes a bow, says thank you, and you say thank you too. And he or she is leaving, steps down and vanishing over the horizon. And now you continue with every person that has come on your invitation. And you can take the time that you need, or you can do it quickly, or whatever comes to you, whatever is right. Everybody is giving you the light, the ray of light into the crystal, symbolizing the love that has been held back on this occasion, whatever it was. And everyone receives one of your wonderful gifts. And so they come and go. They come and go. And everyone gets back what is theirs. And you get the love that is meant for you. And you do this to the very last person that has come on your invitation. And you see there's only one gift back, one gift left. And also this last person is giving his ray of light from the heart into the crystal. And you give the last gift to him or her. And you see how also the last person gets down on the other side and back into the horizon. And then you look to your left and you see there is no gift left. And you stand up and you go to the crystal on your right and you adore the beauty of this crystal. It shines in all the lights combined, becomes a beautiful white light. And you take the crystal off the staff and you put the crystal into your heart and it melts there with your heart. And all the light becomes one with your light. And from there you see how you're radiating this combined beautiful light into every body cell and into every space between the cells. No space in your body is left without this light. And then you observe how it radiates into your subtle body, into your emotional body, into your spiritual body, into your auras around you, filling out the distance up to 2 meters around you. And it doesn't stop there. You see how it expands and expands and how it meets the light of others and becomes one with their light. And then how all this light bathing the city, the land, the country, the continent, the whole earth and beyond, ever expanding, radiating warmth and covering everyone and every living being with your light and the light of everyone. And you realize that this light shining from your heart is never ending, it's never empty, continuously flowing, always nourished by the crystal, never gets out. And now, in your own time, you come back from your happy place into your room where you are sitting. Feel the heaviness of your body on your chair. Feel relaxed and awake. And whenever you're ready, you open your eyes. So, how was this for you? You want to give a quick feedback, Mana?
It was beautiful, Maya. One of the best meditations I've ever done. Thank you
Oh,
for this.
wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so this is giving back or, balancing everything out that is might left. Oh, somebody left us. Who was this? Claudia. Okay, must be the internet connection. Hopefully. um, so yeah, so you're very welcome to use it on your own with friends, see how they go, practice it with friends, family members. You're back, Claudia. I'm glad. You didn't drop out after this.
Yeah, sorry, my internet dropped, so sorry.
That's okay. Right. Okay. So I actually have to give credit for this meditation to Malcolm Southwood. This is not von Bert Hellinger, but it's of course has all to do with balancing out. And he has given this meditation to us as his trainees, and he has said that he has received this meditation in a meditation when he was in a meditation with the request to share this meditation with as many people as possible. So I'm very glad that I can share it for him, and you might do the same. So it is a very healing meditation. Okay, right. So we have a few more charts we're going through. Not many. So when we are in the one-on, no, we talked about this 2 days. We talked about one-on-one sessions, right? And what to do and how to do and what to use. And then, of course, this comes to an end at one stage, right? So you have a closing for your one-on-one session. This is as important like Shavasana in yoga. You know, you need to integrate everything. You cannot skip that. Closings can be short or longer, but definitely you cannot skip it. So first of all, remember to stick to your time frame and make space for the closing. So you plan your session that you have the time for the closing, whatever kind of closing you want to do with your clients. I would say 5 minutes for one-on-one session is great, is fine. It could be longer, it could be 10, of course. If you're in a hurry, you can shorten it to 2 minutes maybe, but you need to have a good practice before you can do that, and it's still effective. What you do in closing is first of all to make sure the client is out of alpha state and fully grounded. That's important. You don't want your client to leave you ungrounded and still, in alpha state, because a very suggestive state, of course. You want to avoid to talk about the session in retrospective, so the closing is not to chit chat, right? That's not the meaning of the closing. In closing, when you have used a meditation or an energy exercise or whatever you like to use, essential oils to help your client to integrate the practice and step out of alpha states, then in closing you also have the time to make a plan with your client and where to go from here. So that is really important in a one-on-one session, that the client knows, feels like there is something, to do after the session, to stay connected with it. This could be anything. You can make a plan for a new appointment. You can tell your client, look, this little exercise we did, the breathing exercise or the meditation or whatever it was, do that every day for the next 10 days. And it really doesn't matter why you recommend it and what you recommend, it's just that you recommend something. Something that is easy to achieve, that doesn't need him to change his lifestyle, that doesn't need him to change the whole, daily routine, that he can do in bed or that he can do before he eats, or a little prayer or anything, right? Anything that the morphogenetic field guides you to suggest that is really, really easy, achievable for the client, and it kind of helps him to integrate everything he has experienced during the one-on-one session for, I would say, 10 days is a good one, but also 3 days would be good. So whatever comes to you. Then also don't forget to ask for a review, because you need reviews, right? This is very important. That is your credentials. You have, when you are finished, you have the certificate and you have your other certificates from the work you do, but you also need testimonials. You need reviews. So that's important. Don't forget to ask. Of course, you don't need more than 100. So when you worked for 15 years, you don't need to ask for a review anymore, but definitely for the first 10 or 15 you need to ask. People are sometimes only reading reviews. They don't read your website, they don't read your Facebook post, they read nothing, they just read the testimony and watch the pictures that they see. And that's all they want to know. And then they make a decision whether that's for them or not. It's just like this. And then you can or might not schedule the next appointment. Now, this is a question I get all the time from trainings, from trainees, from clients. How long, how long time shall we pass by before the next appointment? Shall we have a next appointment? Blah. So I always say, well, the morphogenetic field needs up to 6 months to, integrate and shift in the physical world. But it could be happen from now to 6 months. So it can be happened now, today, tomorrow, in 2 days, in 2 weeks. We don't know that. So therefore, I say no strict rules here. I say let the morphogenetic field guide us. So if the client has the impulse to book a next session, yes, please, so be it. If the client has not the impulse to book a next session, then so be it too. If the client wants to schedule a next appointment right now before they leave, so be it. So, just let you be guided. Because we are working with a morphogenetic field, why would we make rules about that? I mean, this is all part of it. However, there are a couple of things that you might want to consider. So first of all, you don't want to make the impression, or you don't want to use any kind of subtle manipulation that the client thinks they need you. You have to leave a client free. If a client comes for a session and that's it, and you might never see him again, and that might be great for you and might be great for your client. Do not assume because a client doesn't come back that he didn't like the service. That's not correct. A deep healing session can be all that is ever needed for this person in this lifetime, and you were the one to provide that. And because afterwards everything is so much easier and lighter, they will never remember that it was you to help them, or it was the family constellation or the one-on-one. They will not remember, and that is good. It is good so. So this is why you want to let your client go with a light heart and free to do their decision, and not suggest to them that they probably need a minimum of 3 sessions because you're worried when you don't see them again that they might, become suicidal or anything stupid. Or that you want the money, or you want to practice, or you like this client, you think you can work well with the client. So these are all egocentric thoughts that it's really not necessary in this world, and it will be in the way in the long shot, right? So you say to your client, that's totally up to you, whatever you decide, I have no interest in any of your decisions. I am here when you need me, and that's all. Yeah. On the other hand, I also will not suggest to show a client the door or a way just because he came so often already. Yeah. Because I think that's also guided by the morphic field. If the client decides it needs you regularly to be happy, then so be that. I mean, why would we judge that? Why would we say, look, you cannot come 100 times? That's just not, why? I mean, there is no rule about that. I would not, I would not interfere with the morphic field in this regard. But you have to be sure when you have a client who comes back all the time that you are not making anything from your side to make this client depending on you. That's the only thing. Every time the client was there, you have to look and work and think, this is the last time. Every single time. When next week this client comes back, fine, that's okay. But after the session, for you, this was the last time until he comes back, or she. This is a really, really important difference. So let's talk about troubleshooting. What you can do in your one-on-one session when some typical problems occur. So something is the client cannot get out of alpha state. It is actually not very likely because we are not in hypnosis. We are in alpha state. It's a relaxed state, and you can just say to them, you know, come back in the room. And what I say, the grounding is feel your weight or smell the scent in the room, or you know, whatever. Don't suggest to open the eyes too soon, yeah, but definitely say to your client, open your eyes now when this is not happen naturally, right? And maybe you have to repeat it even because they don't hear you. So you have to, when you say, and now you can open your eyes, and they never open the eyes, and you say a little bit louder, now open your eyes. You know. And if I have never had this problem, if the client cannot open the eyes, of course, this is then what you do. You go back into the session. You know, you obviously the client is not out of the session yet, so you go back. When I say short regression is like you just go back in time, so to speak, where you have been in the session, and then you just go another step there. Something was not solved and there needed to be another step, and you just didn't know, and nobody know, but you know it now because the client cannot get out of alpha state and cannot open the eyes. Then when you go back, you lead out of the session as you do and out of alpha state again, right? As if it would be the first time. And you can also use the 1, 2, 3 when you feel, oh my gosh, this client has really trouble to get out of alpha state. That is almost like he is almost in a hypnotic state. Then you can use 1, 2, 3. You can say, when I say 3, you open your eyes, and then you count 1, 2, 3, and then on 3, I guarantee you they will open the eyes. Don't mix this up with saying you can open the eyes only when the problem is solved. That was, you know, remember that from the regression, that's a little bit of another level, right? This is when you expect the client that they might have not finished, and you want to be sure, right? But this is not like a standard closing. No, this is just in case you might suspect there's still something going on. So troubleshooting, what is when the client is not happy after the session? What do we do? So first of all, you have to check if he has left the morphic field. He might still is representing somebody and this unhappiness, you know. So just make sure the client has left the morphic field with, you know, take him out of alpha state, doing some grounding exercise, some breathing exercise, and make sure that he is back where he is with you in your room. If that is the case and the client is still not happy, as now you talk with your client about expectation. Because obviously the client came with a set of expectations to you, and now after the session, the client has a feeling his expectations has not been met. This has nothing to do with your work, it has to do with his expectations, right? So it's well worth to talk about that. And then last but not least, you can give, or you should give your client a time frame to let the work settle in. You say to your client, that's totally okay. You don't need to be happy. The movement has taken place. The movement will still move on, or will still be present for up to half a year. So let the movement continue until it comes to a natural hold, right? And you can say to your client, if you want to, this is a bit sneaky, but it's because it's a little bit manipulative, but you can say to your client, in 3 weeks, you will feel different. because A, you are suggesting it to him, so it will be like this. Secondly, it is very likely that he will feel in 3 weeks difference to what he feels now. So you really can't get wrong with it. But you, at one stage, your client has to leave you. You know, you cannot pot around with your client forever. So this is, then you say, okay, go now and you will see in 3 weeks you feel different. Please write me an email in 3 weeks how you feel. No? This is actually to get him out of your room and make him actually go. um, uh, and if the client is not happy because the client feels really unfinished business, but the time is up and he's out of alpha state and everything else, in this case, just make a new appointment. Tell him, it's like be pro-reactive and say to him, I totally understand you are not feeling happiness at the moment because I could see we haven't finished. So please come back, make a new appointment, and we will finish it. When he comes back, however, you're not taking off where you left. We never do that. With our work, we go with what is then, whatever shows up then, right? But this is also to make him leave. So, you know, you say but then when he comes back, it's all a new game. Okay, and then you have a follow-up, if you will, if you want. When now your client is gone, you can send an email as a follow-up saying thank you for, you know, for coming and taking our service. If you want to leave a review, for example, on Facebook, please do a link. Here's the link, whatever, my email contact if you have any questions or if you want to book another appointment or whatnot. So, like, you know, a little follow-up is always good. You can invite your client. You hopefully have kind of a group now in your local area that you're hosting. That is like they are family constellation, Bert Hellinger enthusiasts. You could invite your client to come to this group, of course. You can also invite to join other events. Maybe you have other events, of course, chanting, meditation group or whatnot. Don't forget that, right? You're always cross-selling because somehow the client is coming to you because you do the other things as well. So yeah, you know, it's absolutely worth mentioning it. You can, in the follow-up, make an appointment or suggest to make an appointment for another session if that was, you know, a possibility. You can ask the client to look at special offers that you might have, or sign up to a newsletter that you might have, or blog post, or blog, or YouTube channel, or whatever you have. And of course, to leave a review. And if you don't have a Facebook, you don't want a Facebook, just ask them to send you an email with a few sentences. Okay, now I show you what I have here. I have imported the figurines, and if you would be interested in purchasing it, this is exactly the figurines I showed you, I work with. They are handmade in Switzerland. Each piece is made by disabled people. They are coming from a psychiatric centrum in Switzerland. And it has a really good, why is this going away? It has a really good it is really good to work with, this figurine board, and the best part is you can take it with you because the little figurines, they slot in the board. They have a magnetic closure, and it's just like the size of a file, really, if you will, of a larger file. And you can go to your clients or you can go to your friends with it, and you can use it in many ways. So if you want one, just send me an email and I can post it to you. Right? Probably not to India, but maybe I do. I have never posted to India. Maybe that's not even expensive. So if you would want one, or find your own figurines, of course, in wherever. So here we go. Coming to the end of our training modules. Congratulations. You have finished. Yay! 42 hours of teaching content. That's a lot. And now you got all the information to facilitate a family constellation in the method of Bert Hellinger, right? So now what's next? So All you need now is to firstly repeat the teaching content. So this was kind of the beginning of your learning. This was kind of the foundation, the groundwork. That's all, right? Now you have to build your house, right? Which can have lots and lots and lots of stories and rooms and whatnot and gardens and pools and so on. So that's all coming up for you practically next year. That is your big year, right? So watch the video recordings and read about the books that you know and watch the video on YouTube. Lots of videos are in our community, training community section that people have gathered there, and please add to it. Every time you find a video, please post the link on the community chat. There is a dedicated topics, a topic Bert Hellinger videos or videos to watch, or what is this called? No, so post it there and see all the videos. I think they are I don't know, over 20 hours already. That they're all very interesting. So whatever information you can gather and memorize them, right? That's a job, no? To get the information and memorize them. Now, is this enough? No. Information alone is not enough. The next step is to practice, practice, practice. You want to turn these information into knowledge. Knowledge is experienced information. That's the difference. Just by nobody has knowledge, although this word is used for it, but you don't have knowledge just by reading. You have information. The knowledge comes if you have done what you have read about, and then you know. And knowing is knowledge, right? Before this, you don't know, right? And this comes from practice, and the practice is we have practice workshops, we have training gatherings, you have friends and families, you have this training group. You can practice whatever you have learned. You can ask any question in our community chat. Make sure you don't need to write me an email. Ask the question in the community chat. Everybody's welcome to add to it, you know, your own experience or what you have found, books you have found or whatever. That's your part. That's the part. That's your job for the next half year. Then also not only practicing but living what you have learned in your own life, in your lifestyle. Make your life or live your life in the light of the orders in love. Then you will turn your knowledge into wisdom, right? And the people, your clients, coming for you for that, for the wisdom that you have gained, right? Not the information, definitely not, and not really the knowledge. The clients come for the wisdom because they get more than that, more than anybody else can provide, no? Because they get your unique, you know, where you've gone through makes you richer, makes your client richer. But also doesn't stop there. If you continually grow personally by working on your issues and your emotions, you will drop any tendencies to judge or criticize yourself and others, and then you become love. And that's where you heal. Remember the chart of emotion. Where true healing is happening in the state of unconditional love. And this is not like a ladder to climb. You can come in the state of unconditional love spontaneously in your work, right? As more you have worked on yourself, as more space you have to be spontaneously in this place of unconditional love where you can heal. And then we have also then once you're certified, we have the supervision workshops, which are you know, paramount to continue with your work on yourself and talk about clients you have and problems you had. And this is then where you can, as a facilitator, regain more information, knowledge, wisdom, and become more love. That's a forum for the practitioners. Okay, so that's us. Woo! So unmute everyone. And let's see, I know we are 15 minutes over. Let's just, how's about everybody saying something about the training that we have, the training modules, the teaching content, and where you go from here, if you want.
It has gone so fast. It's just absolutely like, really? We only just started this and now it's like, well, it's over. Not quite over, but you know what I mean? It's not like that we actually once a month have that special thing where they're just us together. I really appreciated it. Thank you, Maya, so much for your sharing your knowledge, your wisdom, and really instilling us in us that wanting to grow. Maybe I can only speak for myself. I'm so grateful that I can actually carry on where I started 23 years ago. So yeah, thank you so much. And I'm really grateful for every single person in that group. I really treasure you guys and appreciate you. And I am very sure we have made a friendship here for life.
Wonderful. And don't forget, you have for at least the next year, the training group chat and the training group. So you are staying as a group. So you are staying as a group. You are also coming to the practice workshops together and to the training gatherings. Every 2 months we have a practice workshop, and you can go to every single one for the next year, right? Not only for 3, because for every practice workshop, that doesn't count towards the 3 practice workshops where you're actually practicing. This still counts towards your extracurricular workshop hours. So on your worksheet, this all counts. And also in a few months, you may want to start to write on your paper, right? And then it is great to exchange it with your, if you want to. You can exchange it with somebody from the group, see what they say before you send it in, and all of this. Yeah, thank you, Claudia, and thank you to everyone who is on board here. Of course, I very appreciate that you're doing this journey for yourself and for others, and I'm super happy to have you on board.
Can I, sorry, I don't want to cut you.
No, you go.
Oh, I just want to say, Maya, this is and I mean it, it is the best course that I have ever done in my life. I've done so many courses, learned so much. And I came onto this more for professional reasons because I wanted to take this ahead professionally. But I think that journey hasn't even begun. I took away so much at a personal level. Like, it was life transforming as a person for me. The love and respect I have for you is tremendous. And it's like I couldn't meet Hellinger, but through you, I feel like there's a connection or there's a touch there. So I'll always be incredibly grateful to you and for pulling all these wonderful ladies together on the group. So my heartfelt thank you for this entire 5 modules of training. Thank you.
Thank you, Mana, for being there and being such a wonderful light to the world and shine your light there. That's such a great job you do. I know it's very needed where you are.
Thank you, Maya.
All right. Any other last words? Alessandra?
Well, short, because Julie also. Well, I'm really grateful. It's been so far beyond expectations. I feel that there is a lot to take in, to integrate, but even when I'm reading, when I'm watching the videos, I'm feeling some sort of disattachment of my beliefs and welcoming and expanding my understanding. And I'm taking so much. I mean, even in my personal life and my family, I started to see very positive changes in my children's life, much lighter. So I'm really grateful for this opportunity, for have the chance to know you all. And I'm sure this journey is just beginning, and I'm excited to where it's going to take us. So thank you very much for your generosity and your heart and your knowledge and wisdom, Maya, and for all of you. Mhm.
Thank you, Alexandra. And this is very valuable when you say that, you know, you have to experience for yourself on that level to be able to work with it with others, right? That's exactly this integration, this wisdom that you have then that you share, right? So if you wouldn't integrate, if you wouldn't see the improvement in your life situation, if you wouldn't see the improvement in the lives of your children, if you wouldn't see all of this, if you wouldn't feel lighter, if you wouldn't feel more happy, if you wouldn't feel more free, then you can't really do the work, right? So this is very, very important, obviously. Thank you, Ale. Julie, to you.
I think everybody's covered most things, but thank you so much, everyone, too, for just sharing, you know, what's personal and private to you, and being, you know, so open. And yeah, thank you. I feel like I'm not ready to go yet, but I know, you know, we've got more sessions together and everything, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, thank you so much, Maya, and thank you for the I don't know, it's just such a safe space to share. So thank you. And thank you.
Wonderful.
Love you
So
all.
thank you all. Thank you all. Don't forget to check in with the training community regularly to get all the events, like all the events that are posted there, that you put it in your diary, that you don't forget them, that you don't forget a training gallery, that you don't forget a practice workshop, that you don't forget an open workshop, right? Because, you know, I'm not there to remind you. I might send an email, I might not, you know, but this is where you find it. And obviously there will be new dates coming out that that you also need to know about for the second half of next year. And I know you do adjust your life around this, whatever is important to you. So I try to always have half a year in advance all the dates out, so you can really plan your life around it, and can come to everyone, to every so each of these events. Okay, so I leave you with that, and I see you actually next weekend, no?
Next weekend is the workshop.
There is the open
Open
workshop.
workshop. Yeah.
Yes.
And then 2 weeks later, we have a practice workshop, a training gathering, and another open workshop. So we see you again.
See you
Yes.
then.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Everyone. Bye.
Mm.